After our last presentation to the board, highlighting the flaws and challenges with the process we've gone through, we asked the board to consider a 2-year extension. This presentation introduces and explains the project plan that goes along with that extension. We see this as a modified version of the 2-year viability study that exists currently. Here's the overview of the plan. It's a project plan outlining the 2-year extension that's been requested of the board. After bringing to light the inherent flaws in the current model for a viability and closure process, the review committee believes that starting over with a project plan that includes direction, scope, tasks, and community involvement is pertinent for a true analysis of viability within any school in our division. This plan will be progressively elaborated upon if approved. Here are the reasons or driving factors for a 2-year extension. When we look at the viability process, we see major flaws. It needs to change. When we look at the funding formula for school divisions, we see how it's very difficult for them to support their schools. It needs to change. And when we examine research and literature dedicated to small school closures and the damaging impacts to children, families, and community, we see the importance in learning from them, from the experts and history. And we wish to stand by the mission, vision, and values of Chinook's Edge School Division and create a process together that meets the needs of both your students and your division as a whole. These are the major stakeholders that we've identified within the project plan. We have Chinook's Edge School Division, teachers, the project team consisting of parent council and community members, and we have our collaboration partners such as FCSS, Benalto Booster Club, Benalto Play School, local realtors, local businesses, Red Deer County, and subdivision developers. Within the project, we have a project team consisting of 3 managers for 3 different projects and some associates. There would be a school promotion manager, and in that team there would also be a social media planner, event coordinator, and a media liaison. We would also have a community relations manager, and in that group there would be an FCSS liaison and a Benalto Booster Club liaison. And our third and final project would have a research and sustainability manager. These roles will make more sense when we describe the project plan in more detail. Here are our main objectives. Number 1, to increase enrollment at Benalto School to a viable number. Our target is 50 to 60 students. Number 2, to form strong collaboration with the community as it embarks on an upcoming stage of growth and development. And number 3, to create change at a higher level, to revise the funding formula and stabilize the future of all rural schools. Here are our key focus points that tie this all together. Number 1 is sustainability. The point of this 2-year plan is to establish a process and routine that will lead to continued ongoing enrollment at Benalto School. It's not a passion-driven, short-lived attempt that will lead us back to the same place in 2 years. This is why integrating our community collaboration with our school promotion is paramount to this plan's success. As our town is on the brink of expansion and growth, sustainability will soon become much easier. Number 2 is ongoing documentation. People come and go. It's inevitable. We want newcomers to join a plan that's in action with excellent communication and recorded history so that it's easy for them and helps guarantee success. The other benefit to this is creating a procedural manual that can be put in place for other schools facing these same challenges. And our third focus area is a drive for change. Although increasing our school population is our primary focus to make all of this easier on Chinook's Edge for the immediate future, the larger picture is recognizing that this system doesn't work. Funding formula changes need to happen at the provincial level in order to create a balanced educational system that doesn't reward larger urban schools and penalize smaller rural schools. We hope to enlist the help of rural schools within our division to achieve this goal. So we have 3 objectives, 3 areas of focus, and our 3 main projects. Our objectives are enrollment numbers, forming strong community collaboration, and creating change with the provincial government's funding formula. Our 3 areas of focus are sustainability, ongoing documentation, and the drive for change. And then our 3 main projects: school promotion, community collaboration, and lobbying for change. I'll dive into the tasks of those in more detail next. But this leads to a cohesive and well thought out plan that will have multiple checkpoints and a high level of communication that will help ensure its success. Our first project is school promotion, particularly branding and awareness. Some of the tasks within this project are an ongoing social media campaign, where our social media planner will post 3 to 5 times a week on Facebook, where we will promote upcoming events and fundraising at the school, showcase pictures and descriptions of the activities of the students in the school, and we'll share highlights from our page in other community sites, such as Sylvan Lake and Area Mums, Eckville and Area Mums, and Central Alberta Parent Support Group. We'll also have event promotion. We've highlighted a number of events over the next 12 months that we can take part in to help increase branding and awareness of Benalto School. These would include registration nights in the fall and winter in both Sylvan Lake and Eckville, parade participation in both the 1913 Days in Sylvan and the Eckville Rodeo. We'll have a booth set up at the Benalto Rodeo. We recently attended the Central Alberta Family Expo, and we're hoping to attend other events such as that. And we're looking at having tables at farmers markets or fairs within Spruce View, Sylvan Lake, Eckville, Benalto. We'll also have a media liaison, and their goal will have to have regular submissions of photo with a description to Sylvan Lake News and Eckville Echo of our events and activities, hopefully every 2 weeks. We'll have collaboration with the school admin. This is to share photos and make sure that our school website stays updated, and to come up with ideas for further promotion. There's some additional advertising. We've joined forces with the Sylvan Lake schools. They agreed to let us jump on board with their advertisements for kindergarten that come out in January 2017. And we'd like to do a follow-up demographic study also in January 2017. Our second project is community collaboration. And within this project, some of our tasks are working with the Benalto Booster Club. One of the things they're working on at the moment is creating a website, hopefully to go live in the spring here. This will showcase what Benalto offers, and the school will be one of the main things that it highlights. We hope to continue working with FCSS programming. Parent council members will be working with FCSS on their pilot project called Meet Your Neighbor program. In this program, we're hoping to have a block party or barbecue to be held this spring, with the goal of engaging more members of the community and increasing involvement with the people living in Country Meadow Estates. We also hope to have further discussions on a Boys-Girls Club being incorporated into an after-school program for Benalto students. We'll continue working with Benalto Play School with their parent council and promoting both the play school and school together, as well as connect with the parents. Usually more than half are from out of town, who are showing interest in continuing education at Benalto. Having Benalto School as part of our school this year has made a huge difference, and we see that in the years to come, it'll only help feed more children into our school. We also want to continue relationships with the realtors and developers. We can have school info available for realtors to showcase to prospective buyers, and having our school information available for Red Deer County to send out in their communications. Our third and final project is lobbying for change. Within this project, we hope to continue to work with Friends of Rural Wetaskiwin. We've spoken with Tim Bellick, and we want to join their lobbying efforts for funding changes. Also to continue the relationship with the MLA Bruce Hinckley for that division in his support of rural schools. We'd like to continue conversations with Battle River School Division. They've implemented small school strategy several years ago, and we'd like to continue talks to see how we can join forces on this lobbying for change. We'd like to initiate conversations with Chinook's Edge rural schools, schools like Elnora, Reed Ranch, Chinook Center, even Spruce View, to see what we can do together to lobby for change. We'll continue our collaboration with MLAs such as Wild Rose Jason Nixon and the Wild Rose MLA and education critic Mark Smith. They have excellent ideas and are ready to jump on board with us with lobbying the government for this change. We'd also like to attend the Alberta School Board Association AGM to get in touch with other rural schools throughout Alberta, because once again, joining forces at a larger level, who knows what can happen, and we need changes for rural schools in order for them to survive. Now for the communication within the project. The tool that we hope to use is an online tool called Asana. It's an amazing collaboration tool, and the best part about it is that it offers the stakeholders the ability to view the plan and progress at any time. So our first sort of note of communication is this tool, and the frequency is ongoing. Anyone with login details can check in at any time. Once you attach yourself to certain tasks or certain conversations, you'll be notified anytime something changes on that particular thing. You can choose to be notified when progress happens on any given task. You can start or join conversations that are taking place within the project. It's great. It's cost saving, time efficient, and there's definitely increased productivity using this tool. The goal is transparency, and this is crucial for the plan's success. Our next point of communication would be status reports, and the frequency of these would be monthly. Our goal is to outline tasks that are completed, have a summary of events coming up. We'll talk about milestones reached, and record any changes in enrollment numbers and potential interested families. Our third point is team meetings. We're hoping to have these 3 times a year. We were thinking October, January, and May of both school years for the 2-year extension. The goal of this is to discuss progress, identify goals met, discuss challenges, and brainstorm and network for new ideas. This is where we would hope to have some Chinook's Edge members involved. And we could even have these with some form of an online component to help reduce costs if we needed to, where community members could meet at the school, but we could use an online tool with that as well to connect with you guys, either at your home or at your office, wherever works, but just to make this as smooth and easy as can be. And our final touch point would be project reports. These would be a little bit more detailed, and they would come out 2 times a year, sort of at the halfway mark in January and then at the end of the year in June. They'd be compiled by the project team. They would have a very strict format and sort of a template that we would follow. And the goal would be to summarize the percentage of tasks completed and the status of goals. Now let's look at the budget. This is difficult because the reality is it would have to be built in conjunction with Chinook's Edge, but given a bunch of the numbers that have come out within our communications, we've been able to put some basic budget ideas together. What we know for sure is that we need to decrease the cost per FTE student. This is what's been highlighted the most, is that students at Benalto this year are costing almost twice the division average, and that's not okay. Any one of us realizes that's not viable and that's not doable. So if we were to look at next year at the numbers that we already have committed, and we'll compare it to numbers that we actually hope to reach, and we think that we can with our continued promotional strategies over the next 4 to 5 months. So with 29 students that we currently have registered, or that includes parents, students whose parents have registration forms in hand and are filling them out. If we had, at 29 students, if we had 2.0 teachers, that might not be viable, but these are the numbers that we're calculating. 1.3 EA and 0.5 admin. That brings us down to a cost per FTE student of $11,634. Still not great. So let's look at 35 students, which is our goal for next year, and what we truly believe we can attain if we keep these promotional and advertising strategies that we've started to put in place, and if we can follow them through. So 35 students could give us 2.0 teachers, 1.3 EA, and 0.5 admin. That takes us down to $9,453 per FTE student. That's still high for the division. I understand that. We all understand that. But it is definitely a lot better than what we were looking at this year. And then if we were to move forward 1 year with our goal of being 50 students, and once again, we believe that with this project plan in place, we can attain that. Assuming that's maybe 6 kindergarten kids, that would take us down to 47 FTE. If we were looking at 2.7 teachers, 1.3 EA, and 0.5 admin for that group of students, we'd be looking at a cost per FTE student of $8,330. That puts us right in the Chinook's Edge division averages, right? We would be we would be not doing too bad with that cost per FTE student. Other things we'd like to mention is that using the fundraising money, as stated in Section 16 of the ROG allocation guidelines, we would hope to pursue the possibility of using those dollars towards the school funds assigned directly to the school to help offset the cost of running Benalto School for the term of the 2-year extension. We have some ideas of how we could help raise some fundraising money to add to our yearly budget. We have the Parent Council who's willing to dedicate time and resources to the funding of advertising and promotion of the school. And we should also note that compared to the current viability closure process, money should be saved in the reduction of some on-site meetings. So looking at those numbers and other numbers that have been given to us over the last few weeks, we can see that this year Chinook's Edge subsidized us $160,000. That's a lot of money. We fully understand that. If we were to look forward 1 year in 2016-17, given the numbers that we have for funding per student, broken down directly by grade, as well as budgeted expenditures for staffing, we'd be looking at a subsidized amount of $49,000, which is quite a bit lower. If we could add some of this fundraising ROG allocation that we've seen, we would like to decrease that even more. And then we look at 2017-18, where the amount subsidized by Chinook's Edge brings us down to $10,950. It would be interesting to see all the schools within Chinook's Edge and how many are subsidized on a yearly basis and about by how much. But I would guess that $11,000 range isn't that bad. And within all of this is where we're lobbying for the government for a bigger change so that will hopefully disappear altogether.